Back in downtown Mankato, the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center. Glad you're with us here on Flow Hockey TV and KEYC Circle. Also, we are up in Duluth this weekend, so we welcome all the Bulldog fans up in the Port City watching us on My 9 Sports. So up there it's 6.3, and down here in Mankato, KEYC Circle 12.3 as you get a look at starting goaltenders tonight. And Andy, ironically, both teams the last time out won their contest, but neither coach going with the winning goaltender that night.
You know, and it's the depth of goaltending at this level nowadays. But how exciting for Alex Tracy to be stepping in, playing the number 4 team in the country in his first ever college game. I mean, it's exciting. 5 months ago, he's MVP of the USHL Clark Cup, hoisted a trophy, and here tonight he's playing the number 4 team in the country. So
in the middle of the Mavericks there, Alex Tracy, the freshman from Chicago, Illinois. Played USHL out in Sioux City, and on the other side, for Bulldog fans, a familiar face, even though, again, he was not the winner last time out a couple weeks ago. UMD with a sweep over Arizona State, 3-2 and 4-1, but Zach Stayskal back in the net tonight was the winner in that contest on Friday night. Mike Hastings, 11th year for the Mavericks, and his good friend Scott Sandlin on the other side for the Bulldogs in his 23rd year behind the bench for Minnesota Duluth. Both teams fairly familiar with one another, played last year. Last time out on New Year's Day of this year, in fact, it was the Mavericks with a shutout win up at AMSOIL Arena by a score of 3-0. All-time series, it's UMD 29-24-6, but here in Mankato, Mavericks 10-8-5 in the all-time series. It goes back to 1997. Off the draw, Bulldogs in the zone with Biondi. Puts it back in the corner. Quinn Olson. Livingstone steps in to break that intended pass. Hirose. Furry steps in. Gets caught up there with one of the officials. Now able to try to clear it out. Olson trying to take a sweep, but Hirose is there to help out defensively. And we're going to get an early penalty against the Mavericks. Not even 40 seconds into the contest on a hooking call, officially at 37 seconds.
Yeah, it feels a bit soft there. You know, guys fighting for the puck kind of tangled up, and referee gave the Bulldogs the benefit of the doubt here. But early call, and you know, we talked
Minnesota State penalty number 2, minor penalty hooking.
With the big kill. You know, killing off a penalty this early in the game. You want to get everybody in the game, so this is not ideal, but you know, you build some momentum here, get this puck out, get down the ice, and get a good kill. Would be great for the Mavs.
You know, it's early season, but these statistics sometimes get a little wonky. Maybe 50% on the power play average on the year for the Bulldogs. Just the one season that they had, but they were 3 of 6 against the Sun Devils a couple weeks ago, and the Mavericks good on all but one of the 6 chances last week for the Gophers. So Mavericks have killed off 5 of 6, 83% on the year. Dashke to the far side. Gallatin down low, right in on top of Tracy, and then the official lost side of the puck, so a quick whistle there benefits the Mavericks.
One of the tough things with having somebody like Hirose in the box right away is, you know, he takes this penalty here, but he's somebody who's going to help out the kill, right? He's going to be playing close to 30 minutes tonight, so having him in the box is never going to be an ideal situation for the Mavs.
Faceoff stays in the zone with Spicer to step in against Celia. Mavericks will get this draw as Livingstone behind the net sweeps it along the boards, but at the point it's held. Spicer has it go off his skate back out to neutral ice. Gallatin back for Dashke. Will retreat all the way back in the zone with still 90 seconds left to go in the power play time. Gallatin, Spicer along the goal line back to the point. Along the board, Celia tries to step in along with Gallatin. Now Livingstone in for the Mavericks. Loney steps in on a 5-player scrum. Along the boards, we pulled out Grohl. We'll just look to waste some time. Flip it down to Pavel, breaking in. Low angle shorthand shot. Kicked out. Pavel still going to work behind the net with now 3 Bulldogs around him. Fans acknowledging the effort of Pavel. He's just got it tied up between the skates, and that's a lot of strength right there to pull that off.
When you're an opposing defenseman on the power play, he's the last guy you want to see come down the ice. He just comes down with such presence, speed, and power. This is what he's made for.
That was fantastic. That took almost 20 seconds off just as he had it between the skates. Finally, the Bulldogs back out. James to the near side. Swept along the boards and out by Pavel. So a great play on both ends of the ice by him. And the Mavericks are down to just 22 seconds left to kill on this first attempt by UMD. James back up on top. Furry with the quick stick, and it's sent down the ice as Hiroshi is ready to get back on. One last rush maybe here for UMD. And then Howard plays it back. Isaac Howard, freshman forward. Top draft choice this year, 31st pick overall for Tampa Bay. And Hiroshi is out. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Quick shot kicked out by Tracy. Follow-up also sent in by James. Played to the near side, now behind the net. Biondi, and then Olsen rids himself of the check. Olsen, quick shot there is sent wide by Jocks, and it comes all the way back into the UMD zone. Salmon will step into the play. To the far side, Bellini for Minnesota State, stood up by Gallatin. Sandlin behind the net, sweeps it out front. No one there for the Mavericks. Morton now with it as it poked away, and here's an odd man rush, 3-2 the other way for UMD. Bettens drop past Luke Johnson with the shot. They went off Malinowski's stick, out of play. And we'll take a face-off in the Maverick zone with 3.5 gone here in the first.
You know, great start for the Maverick kill, and it's something characteristic of the Mavs over the last, I don't know how many years, you know, since Hastings been here, but they don't let a team set up. If you come into the zone and you don't have clear possession, the Mavs are going to be all over you. They did it exactly perfect on that kill, all over the Bulldogs every time they came to the zone, and really never got it set up.
Face-off in front of some fans. I can't see the face-off, Andy. Some late arrivers here on a Friday night Mankato. Pavel gets the draw for the Mavericks as the traffic clears in front of the announcer. I like traffic in front of the net, but not in the announcing booth.
Well, it's effective in both spots. Let's be honest.
It is. Yeah, now I know what the coach is talking about. Mason Wheeler back for Minnesota State. Chipped away there by Carroll, and now out Zach Kranick. Pavel. Kranick has it again. Pavel trying to feed Hillman, but it's going to be brought out by Howard. Lateral back for Spicer. Dashke with a shot, and Tracy kicks that one up and out of play. Couple of odd man rushes the other way here going against the Mavericks.
You know, and that's the early season issue that a team will face, right? I mean, the Mavs played this last weekend where the Bulldogs didn't. But it's one of the things that the team has to come together on, and it comes down to coaching and talking to the assistant coaches. They know they have some work to do here at the Mavs, and that, you know, finding the open man, making sure you don't have odd man rushes, that's a big part of it.
Mavericks again last weekend, their first weekend series of the year, and a weekend that Coach Hastings thought his team grew up a little bit, facing a lot of adversity and never really got shook up in the game. And after dropping Friday night's contest, knew that they did not want to get swept. They haven't been swept since the 18-19 season. You know, back-to-back games for a couple years.
How can you not grow up in these first weekends, right? We got the Gophers, you got the Bulldogs, you got the Huskies. I mean, you're going to age quick.
It is a gauntlet of Minnesota hockey, and again, it has proven itself time and again here during the Hastings era in Mankato. That kind of rugged non-conference schedule pays dividends come postseason time. Another penalty coming up here against the Mavericks. As Souter is going to get caught probably on a hooking as he got his stick tied up with one of the Bulldogs. I think that was Kaiser. He still has it, and so it's one of those inadvertent plays, but it's going to get called every time. And the Bulldogs with the extra tacker. Delayed power play coming up. Gallatin back for Biondi. James. Played to the far side. Biondi picks it up. UMD trying to get things set up with the extra tacker. Now finally a break into neutral ice. James on the far side. Tipped out on top. Fitzgerald touches it and will have a power play opportunity going to the night for the Bulldogs. When we come back, no score here in Mankato. Sauter off on the hooking call at 5:30, and so the Bulldogs go right back on the power play opportunity. James will track it down in the corner, plays it behind the net, now near side for Howard. Biondi. Isaac Howard has it tipped away by Celia, and he sends it down the ice. Kaiser to the far side, brought in the zone now by Olsen. Borchard will pick it up, send it out to center ice. Blake Biondi carries it in, dropped off. James to the far side, but off the skate. Quick shot there that's kicked wide defensively by Carroll. Olsen really didn't cleanly accept that pass. Biondi trying to feed it up on top. Couple Mavericks down low to break it up. Still loose, and now it's sent down the ice by Borchard. Pretty effective penalty kill, but you know, a lot of those early power play opportunities, I think it's always been better when most teams get a line or two under there, and you're still trying to go to specialty teams pretty early in the contest here.
Yeah, and the puck's been on the wall.
That's going to be an interference call as Dashke's going to go as he dropped Grohl on the play. And so we'll go 4-on-4 for 40 seconds.
I'm guessing right now Lucas Sauter is a happy man, right? I mean, the penalty was fairly innocent that he took, but the penalty he took down behind the opposing net.
Number 10, Minnesota Duluth, 2-minute minor for interference.
You're from your coach, right? There's not a lot of upside to getting your stick in there. Even if you bust that puck loose, there's really not much you're going to get out of it. So 4-on-4. We'll see what the Mavs can do here.
Take another look, call right there as Dashke got tied up with Grohl on the play. And interference brings us 4-on-4 hockey, but Bulldogs win the faceoff in the zone. Lateral over to the far side, and that shot taken by Jocks, tipped wide out in front. Loose puck that Carroll will now pick up and carry for the Mavericks.
You get the feeling here that the refs are calling this tight, right? They're already setting a precedence with these 3 calls. None of them, to me, were clearly obvious penalties.
Uri has it poked away by Darian Goetz on the play, and the Mavericks with Bellini, now Carroll. Mavericks are just set up as Sauter is going to come out of the box. The Mavericks' first power play of the night will be an abbreviated one with 1:15 remaining. Carroll, and that one's picked up. Bulldogs send in the zone, and now Sauter will pick things up. Sauter has seen enough of the drop pass. He carries it all the way into the zone behind the net. To the point for Hirose. Livingstone rink wide. That one hopped over the stick of Sauter. Hirose at the point with 45 seconds left. Puts one down low, and Spaceall blocks that one, and it's cleared by the Bulldogs.
Both teams looking a little jittery on these early setups, right? Not quite clean puck movement. Guys don't quite know where they should be yet.
Morton for Hirose down low. Mavericks got a break. Score! Bulldogs got caught up along the blue line. The Mavericks saw it, recognized it. A couple quick passes, and Celia puts the Mavericks on the board with a power play tally at 8:29. There you see Celia right there with the blast, and he took the one-time feed from behind the goal line, and Spaceall really didn't have much time to react to that play.
You know, I don't know if I could have timed my comments any more poorly on saying that the guys don't know where to be, and then all of a sudden they run something that almost looks like a set play. They ran it so perfectly. So good for the Mavs. They need that to get going here at home.
Celia with the goal, his first of the season. Maverick, first time this season they have scored the first goal in the contest. Gophers had scored both goals in the contest last weekend. Hirose and Borchard on the assist. Mavericks back to work one more time with Hillman in front, and that shot by Sykos is held on for a face-off.
First time we've got to see some players right up tight on the Bulldog goalie here. One of the keys for the Mavs, and that's going to be that traffic. It's one of the things we've come to know about the Mavs the last couple of years, but we didn't see the first game against the Gophers last weekend. So going to be a focus here the rest of the night.
In fact, that was one of the keys. I don't know if we've gotten to those yet tonight, but play in front of the net, and that's that kind of traffic that Coach Hastings likes to see. Mavericks get the draw.
Is that ever not a key for Hastings?
It's, you know, it's pretty consistent up there. A lot of times it's that. You're going to see the goaltender come up a few times. That was on there tonight because obviously with Tracy getting his first action. And then also just kind of building upon what had happened last Saturday night where the Mavericks, boy, after they killed off that 5-minute major, they really owned the better play for the most part the rest of the night. Now, it wasn't quite as intense tonight, but they did kill off 2 power plays. And, you know, they fed off that a little bit. It was a 4-on-4 and came back and scored right away on their first power play opportunity of the night.
Well, and if I could even add on to another key, and it's probably a key just going in the rest of the season, is that, as you said, the Mavs, they aged a lot last weekend. They're going to need to continue to age. There's going to be some guys who step into different roles, guys who are playing a lot of minutes, but we need Celia to step in. We need Grohl. We need Pavel, right? We need those guys to step in these spots, and especially on the backside, too. So we're going to need to grow up quickly.
Carroll brings it in, far circle. Thought about playing one out in front of the net. Has possession one more time and feeds it behind the net for Sandlin. Watched by Daschke, now Fitzgerald behind the net. Fitzgerald into the corner where it's picked up by Sandlin. Now Morton. Poked away from him by Daschke. Played out to center ice by James. Wheeler gets there before Biondi, although Biondi creates the opportunity. Played down low, and don't even know if Tracy saw the rebound sitting in front of him, but the Mavericks get a break there. Sandlin played back for Wheeler. Carroll off the boards into the zone. Stayskal is out for Goats. Lead pass broken up by Malinowski. He dumps it in. Down to 9.5 left in the first. Mavericks with the lone tally of the period. Celia's power play goal. Psychos thought about getting one down low, but that was broken up defensively. Sauter trying to poke one away from Spicer and Kaiser on the play. Furry up on top. Psychos puts one down low again, and that's tipped wide by Sauter, but a good look on that play by the freshman from the point, and we're at the halfway point of the first period of play. Our score, 1-0 Mavericks on top here on Flow Hockey TV and QEYC Circle. Don Westfall and former Maverick defenseman Andy Hedlund. Andy, your name is still on one of the leaderboards out in the lobby for career penalty minutes. You're still number 10 all time, so congratulations on that.
Don't you wish you just go back and get a couple more, move up to 9?
Well, yeah. You were never going to catch up to Tyler Dice, I'll tell you that right now.
I think Todd George has some
Todd
space
George
on
is
there
up
too.
there. You are correct.
Maybe Tim Wolf, is he on the list?
Boy, that name I don't remember, but I know we put those other 2 guys in the box quite a number of times over the years on the broadcast. Owen Gallatin. Ironically, the Mavericks with the lone tally on the power play, their first advantage of the night. Pavel will just chip it, well, tried to chip it off the dasher, but found the spot in front of the Maverick bench there where there's no glass, and so the faceoff stays in the Maverick defensive zone. Shots on goal early in the contest, 5-3. Minnesota stayed on top of that.
One thing to keep an eye on tonight is Hirose and Livingstone and the ice time that those two are going to log. Last year they were logging between them 15 to 20 minutes a game. They're expected to be closer to 30 this year until this little bit less experienced decor gets some experience under their belts.
Mavericks with yet another face-off win. Of course, they were one of the better teams in the country on that last year in their run to the national title game. Jesse Jocks has it tipped away at the line. Bulldogs would be offside. Looks like they had cleared enough, so we kept on going with Grega. Back steps in, but Hiroshi's right there down low for Grega. Morton runs out of real estate and will have a face-off in the zone. JBL Real Estate Group has proudly served Greater Mankato since 2002. JBL has experts in Mankato, also St. Peter, Lake Crystal, Fairmont, and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling, the company to call is JBL Real Estate Group.
As this period's gone on, we've seen a few less of these odd man rushes against. It'll be one of the adjustments I can guarantee you. Mike Hastings is going to talk to him about in between periods. We can't give up odd man rushes.
Bellini will step in to keep the play in the zone for Minnesota State for Fitzgerald. Morton with a wraparound. You heard a lot of pads, so a good play there by Stayskull, and the net comes off the magnet. We'll do another face-off in the zone, and I can let you know Alliance Contracting is a long supporter of Maverick Athletics. Thank you for your support in helping us build champions. That's Alliance Contracting. Got more sponsors this year than you're used to, Andy. You know, Maverick successful year and new move on KEYC Circle, and people are getting excited about Maverick hockey.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Sandlin, another win. Out in front, nice job there by Fitzgerald, but just a little bit too far in front of Morton to make a play. Sandlin at the point has to go off the skate of Goetz. And the Mavericks with Bellini one more time in the zone. Kaiser and Fitzgerald in a race. Morton, Sandlin steps in, will play it back for Carroll. Carroll puts one down at Sandlin, tips wide. Bellini. Out in front, one-timer, good look there by Sandlin, and a nice job on the feed by Bellini, and turned aside by Stayskull. And the Mavericks, ever since that power play goal, they've definitely owned the better of the offensive opportunities. Morton spins away from a couple of players in neutral ice area. Now Hiroshi rink wide to Furry. Furry gets dropped, and they also a play where Olsen, I think, got a stick lost. The Maverick fans said, hey, we got called on that a few moments ago, but no call here. Out in front, one-timer out in front, then another play there. Souter just could not get it up over the fallen Stayskull on the play, but a couple of really good-looking passes for the Mavericks.
Yeah, they're attacking the net.
Tracy with the shot, got through some traffic, and then there one that's up out of play. Take a look at a really good Maverick scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and you know, Souter right here, I don't know if he caught the Wild game last night in that onslaught, the 7-3. Boldy had a chance like that, and he has the patience, and Souter held that patience there too. Just didn't quite get it up and over once he got past the goalie. And Stace was a giant. As I told you, I ran into him in the hallway down there. I'm no small individual, and I was a little intimidated by that guy. He's got a lot of inches on me.
Mavericks with the draw. Goal scorer there, Celia, able to get it ahead for Grohl. Played along in front of the penalty boxes, and Celia digs it out of some traffic. Between the circles, a score! Mavericks just forced that puck up the entire way up along the near boards, and then finally with players tucked along the boards, it's Celia digging one out. He's got his second of the night, and the Mavericks up 2-0.
Yeah, just grit and determination. He's got a D all over him. He's got presence in front, right? He's got Grohl giving him a good screen, attacking the net. He goes right underneath the bar, and Celia's feeling it tonight.
13:57. Scott Sandlin talking things over. Mike Hastings waiting for the Bulldogs to send out a team so he can match things up where he wants defensively. But Sandlin, you can tell, not real enthused with what he's seen from his team the last 10 minutes.
No, and it started fairly even, but the Mavs have kind of taken over since those first two kills again, right? And they've got more chances. I mean, they're out shooting them 9-3 at this point. They've cut down those odd man rushes against and cleaned up their puck movement.
Livingstone plays it in for Fitzgerald. Look at Grohl on that one. Cut.
Number 10, David Celia. Number 20, Connor Grega. Grohl from Celia and Grega.
So the Mavericks, nonetheless, still with a 2-0 lead. Now Livingstone will play it to the far side. Morton. Morton in the corner plays it through the crease. Hiroshi right along the goal line. Up on top, that was a good look by Kranick down low through a lot of traffic. And now here comes UMD the other way. Livingstone off the boards to clear. Daschke played back for Goetz. Kaiser. Hillman takes care of him. Borchard brings it into the zone. Lost the puck, however, and Kaiser quickly turns it around. Bettens the other way for the Bulldogs. Thinks about the wraparound, but sends it through the top of the crease, and Pavel will pick things up for the Mavericks. Hillman's after it along with Goetz. Now Borchard for Minnesota State. Carroll behind the net. Well, right now it just looks like defensively the Bulldogs in the zone. They're chasing the Mavericks.
Yeah, there's just been a shift in the ice. Mavs have the puck the whole time. They're just playing the body. They're playing physical. They're not getting pushed off pucks, getting pucks deep and coming up with the soft spot to always find an open man.
Sauter trying to rid himself of Goetz on the play, but he'll pick it up and send it down. Carroll with Bettens' back. Wheeler will step in for Minnesota State. Tipped in by Borchard. Down to 4 minutes left to go in the first. Again, Mavericks on top 2-0. Furry back for Borchard. Gallatin is able to clear, send a long lead pass for Howard. Sykos is back defensively. Played back between the circles, and then that was Cole Spicer who came up with nothing but air on the attempt, and Sykos sends it in.
Excellent back check by Brendan Furry there to break that play up.
Grega. Celia will pick it up on the near side, overskates the puck, and it's dumped out to center ice. Rossi. Celia with Livingstone. Mavericks looking to create some opportunity to carry it through the neutral ice area, and it's tipped in by Grega. Narchuk to the far side for UMD. Grohl will catch up to it, sends one wide of the net. Livingstone from Morton. That one got blocked out in front and played back the other way. Milmuck unable to get enough speed to rid himself of Hirose. Jake Livingstone. Hirose lets that go to clear the zone. Daschke ahead for Loney. Now Luke Lohheit. Fitzgerald takes a stick up in the head, but no call made. And now there's a hit from behind, and that one, Fitzgerald goes and the hands up. The Mavericks will come back with power play. We'll have to see if the officials want to talk this one over. We'll take a break. 2:19 left to go in the first. Mavericks on top, 2-0. Let's see if we can pick up this penalty. There was the first one, and then Milma comes up with a hit in the corner. There could have been one earlier because the stick on Fitzgerald went up in his head. Usually that's an automatic, but the officials are looking this one over to see if it'll be just a 2-minute or a 5-minute.
The fact that they both put their hands up right away, I mean, they wanted to talk about it. It doesn't look that dissimilar from Celia's penalty last week. It was a major, but I'm not going to lie. For me, that's not a 5-minute major, right? It's a penalty, no doubt, but I don't think there was enough danger there on the head. I think Fitzgerald goes in a little bit, face first into the boards already, and I think it's a 2-minute, but, you know, nowadays they do a lot of protection of this. They may
we'll hear what the official says.
Major, checking from behind.
So the 5-minute major, and Milmuck is done for the night. And there's the hit to the head. That was low height, but here's going to be the 5-minute major. From behind into the boards. And I will just, again, there's consistency. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And I do know it's been a point of emphasis, although Scott Sandlin's not necessarily thrilled with the call.
Yeah, and I understand where he's coming from.
It sets the precedence for the weekend here, the first of 6 periods.
Yep.
So the Mavericks with the 2-0 lead. Second goal again, as of now, awarded to Grohl. It must have been on a tip out in front, but the Mavericks had scored on their earlier power play opportunity on the goal by Celia at 8:29. Mavericks with a great opportunity here. They'll finish out this period on a power play and open things up in the second. Borchert tries to work past Daschke. Behind the net, out in front, here comes Morton, quick look. First one is blocked, still between the circles. Mavericks can't pick it up and finally play it back to the point, but Morton was all alone out there. Had some time to work, he has it again. Borchert behind the net got caught up with the goal. Morton, Hiroshi, near side for Livingstone. Right in on net, tipped there by Borchert. And it's covered up on a really good save by Stejskal. Both the save and not giving up the rebound because the Mavericks were looking weak side with Borton.
Yeah, and you see that there with Livingstone opening it up and looking for that kind of shot pass across the seam. Looking for Borchard just to slam it in there on the back door.
Borchard there with a couple of looks, taking the feed, and then Morton coming on the weak side. Hiroshi, Furry. Furry has it poked away by Cardeloni on the play. Sandlin trying to feed one out in front. Cecilia breaking in. That clearing attempt gets caught up the official, but actually Loney gets over there quickly to send it down the ice. And this will take us down to about a minute remaining here in the first with 3:40 left to go in the power play. That, of course, will extend into the second. Hiroshi, Cecilia, Furry. Cecilia one more time. Hiroshi, Grohl. Off the skate, Furry is there. Furry. Hiroshi, top of the slot, puts one down low, rebound to the weak side. Furry there, trying to feed one through to Celia, but it's picked up and sent down the ice on a nice defensive play by Olsen. The Mavericks will regroup with their second unit and one more opportunity up the ice to try to convert on the major power play. Souter in the zone with 20 seconds left. Back up on top, Carroll holds. Livingstone, Morton, Carroll with 10 seconds left, down low, weak side, score! Lucky bounce there for the Mavericks, and Livingstone with a lot of time to work, took his time. Stejskal had to honor the shot attempt on the far side, but when the carry came weak side, Andy and Mavericks go up 3-0.
Oh, but there it is. It's net front presence. You had Cade Borchard setting up shop right in front, setting up a good screen. You get pucks to the net and good things happen. This is how a power play is designed. Great net front presence. You got a D work in the backside, picking up rebounds. I mean, that's textbook right there for the Mavs.
Livingstone, his second of the season. Mavericks are 2 for 2 on the power play, and after an even first 5 minutes, after Celia's goal, it's been all Mavericks here in the later portions of the first. Shots on goal right now, 14-3. Mavericks are 2 for 2 on the power play as Livingstone again his second. And we are at the end of 2 periods of play, or excuse me, the first period of play. And again, Livingstone his second. Celia with the goal, unofficially right now. Also Grohl with the goal. And the Mavericks 3-0 on top after 1 period of play from Mankato. We'll take a break. When we come back, it sounds like we'll be joined by David Celia. We'll hear about his goal and more. Mavericks on top, 3-0 after 1.
Andy Hedlund here with David Celia. Hey, off to a great start tonight. You had an abbreviated night last week. Did you have a chip on your shoulder tonight? What got you going so fast tonight?
A little bit. I mean, we had a slow start last game, so our team wanted to get out and make sure we had a good start. And obviously, ending it early, I felt like still some gas in the tank, so made sure I left it out there in the first period, and we're going to try to stay in this one.
Hastings said that you guys grew up a lot last weekend. What does that mean to you? What did that mean when that came out of his mouth?
I think, last year we had a lot of guys that have been here for a while, and this year we had a lot of new, fresh faces, guys that were on the team but maybe didn't get to play, and this year they're going to have an increased role. And I think for them and for us as guys that played last year coming in and stepping into a bigger role, I think it was a good team effort, coming back and fought through adversity, and it really kind of gelled us together. And I think that's really what we mean by growing up and really coming together on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Both nights against the Gophers tonight, you guys have killed off a big penalty and then just got to work and the game has changed. Is that something you guys are thriving on? I mean, do you feel the adrenaline on the bench when you guys get those kills?
I think so. You know, the game is a roller coaster, and you try to build momentum off little things, whether it's big hits, shots, shot blocks, and you know, the PK is a big one, and we make sure we kind of make up for that lost guy with our energy and energy from the bench and guys on the ice. So we really try to use that as momentum and really get our team going.
Yeah, great first period. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Great, thank you.
David Celia, we're in the first intermission here from Mankato. Don Westfall back in downtown Mankato along with Andy Hedlund. We gave Andy a break here because we exchanged one defenseman for another former Maverick defensive great. It's hard to believe that I can say former about Jack McNeely. It just doesn't seem right, but nonetheless, in the building here tonight, first game back to watch the Mavericks.
Yep.
And so far, a good first period to play.
Yeah, great first period. Guys look like they're playing fast, and a couple of great plays there by Dave Cilia. So great first period. Just got to keep it going here the next 40.
Kind of a familiar formula for the Mavericks. You know, you maybe have a penalty or two, a little bit of adversity. You experienced that during your time in Mankato as well, but it's always been a trademark of the Maverick team. Kill off that penalty and then feed off that momentum. It's what happened last Saturday. It's been a big proven factor here in the first period tonight.
Yeah, for sure. That was two big kills there early in the first 10 minutes or so, and I mean, Notter does a great job with the penalty kill there, and I'm sure they were relieved to get those two killed and then just go right back to work and keep rolling the 4 lines in the 6D.
So is it fair to assume that first game you've seen since the infamous game here last year against Bemidji State when you scored an exceptionally big goal?
Yeah, this is the first time watching the game since, I guess, in this building. But yeah, obviously pretty surreal night overall. Something you probably, I don't know if it's sunk in yet, but honestly, looking back, I'd probably rather have had Groller's goal still count, but just for my heart, I think I lost a few years there just being stressed out and waiting in the locker room. But no, obviously, crazy night and a pretty cool experience. So.
Since we got you here, and that was, you know, other than last weekend's game, last time we had broadcast the game last year was the championship night against Bemidji. What was going on in the locker room? They held you guys in there with they said this thing might start up again because obviously you guys are celebrating. You'd celebrate on the ice. The celebration begun in the locker room, and oops, there might be a little more work. What was it like just sitting in the locker room during that time?
Yeah, I think the staff did a good job of letting us know, like, hey, like we might not be done here still. So even before we sat down, we had a feeling like, I think the main feeling was like, can they even bring it back if it's not a good goal? But definitely a little bit of stress and uneasiness in there, but I mean, we had a pretty solid group in there and a lot of mature guys who've been through a lot. So I think we were pretty calm and collected at the end of the day. Once we got back out, just getting out as quick as we could and getting our work done.
The run through the regular season championship, the playoff championship, and of course taking it all the way into the national championship game. How long did it take for you after such a successful season to kind of wind things down and just kind of relax and take an evaluation of everything that had been accomplished? It was just such a fantastic run.
For sure. Yeah, it was a special year, without a doubt. I mean, obviously, everything with COVID in 2020, like having a normal year again was awesome. Just around the rink, just a little less stress, and we had such a good group of guys, and it was just so weird once the season ended last year. Obviously not the way we wanted to, but everybody's kind of, all the seniors are kind of out of town within the next few days, so it's just like a day or two enjoying some time together, then everybody kind of just split off in their own ways with different teams and whatnot. But special group and a special run, and I don't know if it's really sunk in yet, but definitely something to look back on in the future here.
And I imagine a lot of the people, you know, the booster club, the students and stuff like that, when they see you, they must have just been exceptionally proud of everything that you and your teammates accomplished.
For sure. Yeah, no, we had some great groups here. I mean, I was lucky enough for 5 years here, and yeah, we had some special groups, and I think you just think back to the relationships made with the staff, your teammates, all the people in the community. This is a special place and a special program for sure.
I know they want me to wrap it up, but I'm going to get one more question because playing career is done, but are you still involved with hockey to some degree, helping out, or what's keeping you busy nowadays?
Yeah, I might be helping out with the Pee Wee team back home with my old high school coach, but yeah, definitely. I mean, watching the games last weekend was awesome, but definitely, I mean, this program is a special place in my heart for sure, so I'll support the team however I can.
Well, you gave us everything. Second all-time in career games played, and it's been an honor to have you here, and thanks again for the fantastic career with the Mavericks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jack McNeely, Don Westfall. It's the first intermission. Mavericks on top, 3-0. Don Westfall, along with Andy Hedlund back here in downtown Mankato with a few thousand of our fans, and they were entertained. A 3-0 lead for the Mavericks.
Yeah, you know, right after I said that they weren't connecting very well, what a play right there. Tic-tac-toe, get the puck down low, Borchardt back up the middle, and Celia makes no mistake. You know, here, we thought it was Celia's goal, just out battling. He said it was going wide. Grohl has great net front presence, gets the tip. And then, like we said here, just a textbook power play. Guy in front, getting the puck to the net. Livingstone making his living there on the back door, right?
That's a tough one there because it's just 5 seconds left in the period when Livingstone scores. And so the Mavericks, I mean, not every night this stat lives to really have a lot of validation, but in the first period, the Mavericks outshoot the Bulldogs 15-3, and it was that kind of period for the Mavericks after they killed off that couple of power plays. Once they started scoring the domination, we were in their end of the offensive side most of the first period. It was a great 20 minutes for Minnesota State.
Well, and they still have 2:41 on a power play here if they can keep things rolling and keep that momentum going the right direction.
I would imagine it had to be somewhat of a spirited discussion in the Bulldog locker room because Scott Sandlin is not, his Bulldogs just normally don't get dominated like that, but we'll see what they come out with. And again, as Andy pointed out, they still have to kill off power play opportunity on that major taken by Milmuck, and there's still 2:20 left to go as we open up things in the second. Yeah, I'm glad that Celia, before we got him on air, he said, no, that shot was probably going to go. It looked good from our angle up here, but it was going to go wide. So Grohl picks up his second. Again, Livingstone his second, Celia his first back in the first. Hirose, Livingstone fires one off the falling defender and Dashkey. Trying to feed Morton, but that was tipped away defensively out in front and played back to center ice. Long lead pass there, and Borchardt will carry it into the zone, set things up for the Mavericks on the power play. Behind the net, has it forced away from him, and a nice job defensively there. I believe that was Binsky on the play for UMD. Again, we welcome everyone watching up in Duluth this weekend on My 9 Sports, and of course here in KEYC Circle, and always from Mankato and Pro Hockey. Furry. Celia for Furry, back to the point. Carroll is there. Grohl. Up on top for Carroll. Puts one down low, still low. Sandlin can't get there. A follow-up by Grohl, and a nice blocker save by Stayskal. And now a penalty coming up. It's going to be UMD taking one again. A hit along the boards. Mavericks with still 42 seconds left of the major, but they elect to keep playing versus getting the opportunity. Saving some time on the clock. Carroll up on top for Grohl. Fires one off the body. Carroll. Mavericks do have the extra tackle with the empty net. Played off Grohl. He took a stinging on the shot there from Furry. 20 seconds left in the mage, but the Mavericks will also extend this with another UMD penalty. Carroll down low, and that one weighted great by the defenseman. Bodarchuk fell on the player, dropped down to block it. Carroll deked him out, got a good look off. Stayskal was there for the save. And then as it's touched by the Bulldogs, Bernardchuk is going to come to the box.
You know, every team has a different philosophy there, right? And you alluded
Minnesota
to it.
Duluth
But do you give
number
them the puck,
19, minor penalty, high
take the
sticking.
longer 5-on-3? Do you extend it out longer and you just continue to be, one player up? And you see he gets the stick up, right? He gets it up on the chin on Grohl. And, there was one earlier there with Fitzgerald before he took the hit to the head. And these guys have set a precedence. They're calling every one of those.
Bodnerchuk is off on a high stick at 2:29. Mavericks 5-on-3 for a few more seconds here. Score! Lots of room on the ice. A great feed through the slot, and the Mavericks with Borchardt finding the net, and he gets his first goal of the season, and the Mavericks on top 4-0.
When Jake Livingstone gives you a pass across the seam, you need to have strong bottom hand pressure. He zipped this puck through. Borchardt catches it, but man, did that puck come through there quick, and Borchardt makes no mistake about it. Goes right under the bar. As big as Stayskal is, you just can't cover that much net that quickly.
2:34. Borchard again, his first of the season. And Milmuck is ready to get back on the ice. And the Mavericks convert with a couple of scores there on the power play, especially with the extended 5-on-3 opportunity right at the end. The Mavericks convert, and it's a 4-0 game. Here comes Morton, low angle shot. Played over to the far side. Still down low. Hiroshi gets the second assist on that goal for Borchard. Again, Livingstone Hiroshi from Borchard, his first of the year. It's 4-0, and the Bulldogs have dug themselves quite a deep hole here on the road in Mankato on a Friday night as Borchard comes back in. And Morton left off for Borchard, but it's picked up by Olsen. Played into the corner. Dashke along the boards. James now has it. You can almost, Andy, anticipate the handler go up pretty quickly against the Mavericks on a call if something gets close. And it just tends to work out like that at times in hockey. We'll have to see if that indeed does happen, as the Mavericks have scored 3 power play goals in the first 22 minutes of the contest. Laid down, an icing call.
You know, I think the frustrating thing when you're Sandlin and the Bulldogs here is you haven't really got a chance to get everybody in the lineup. You haven't got a full line out there. You haven't even seen this what they call OBJ line here, this top line for the Bulldogs. They haven't really got a chance to be out there together. They've been killing for what feels like half the game, and then if they're not killing, they're coming off of a kill, so you don't always have the right lineup. So.
And this deep into the game, isn't it going to be kind of hard to turn that switch back on when you've spent so much time and energy on a kill?
I would think so. And I mean, you just see the way the Mavs are moving the puck. And the other thing is, too, not all the Mavs have been on the ice because of these power plays. Not everybody gets to participate. So it'll be good here if both teams can get their regular lines going. And but the Mavs obviously are not unhappy with how things have gone so far.
Near boards, Olsen trying to get away from Pavel on the play. Olsen again with it. Now Hillman steps in, so the Mavericks pretty aggressive on the forecheck. Kaiser will play along the boards and out, but Malinowski will send it right back in. Dashke with a long lead pass ahead. Olsen carries it in, trying to work around Livingstone on the play. Wide of the net as Sykos ties up with Olsen. Pavel. Campbell Sykos. First goal last weekend, long lead pass. Pavel tips it in. And it's going to be an icing call the other way going against the Mavericks. ISG, a long-time teammate of Maverick Hockey and MSU, is proud to design spaces where champions are made. That's ISG. ISG, speaking of that, Darren Blue back with me tomorrow night for the Saturday night contest, the second of the 2-game series between Mavericks and Bulldogs. And then Andy, you're back with me in a couple weeks when the Mavericks open up play in CCHA in defense of their regular season championship, Bowling Green.
Yeah, and I don't know that I haven't been in the booth for sure for a Bowling Green game. I think I was in the building when they had a comeback win against them a few years back.
Was that the championship game that
I think
night?
it was.
That was kind of exciting.
That was.
Nick Rivera on the goal in overtime. Played off the boards, down low, and Livingstone picked it up and lead the Mavericks out. Francis, it's the corner for Luke Johnson. Brega steps in, Mavericks hold with Celia. Celia weaving through a lot of traffic. Pokeway, here comes Livingstone down along the goal line, looks for a wraparound. Baseball had the blocker down on that play. Sandlin unable to cleanly take that pass from Fitzgerald and played out to center ice. The Mavericks turn it around now. Sandlin. Here come the Mavericks with numbers in the zone. Morton Hiroshi still has it. Up on top, and that one's played wide. Morton, it was a 4-on-2 break as the Bulldogs had gone off on an early change with the long change here in the second.
You know, how many times have we seen that triangle pass, that pass to that bumper soft area, whatever you want to call it, for the Mavs tonight, where there's a guy open in space that just shouldn't be.
Morton dekes around a couple players, brings it back and gets a nice shot off, but it's wide on the near side. Now Bellini. He just flips it to an open wing to hold the zone. Forced out by the Bulldogs, sent all the way down. They say it's tipped, so no icing. Carroll inside, 14 minutes left to go here in the second. Mavericks controlling 4-0 on the board. Souter with the shot. Furry, backhanded attempt as he was able to put it out on top of the crease, but that's blocked by Stay Skull. Furry takes a hit along the boards and is dropped, but no call made on that one. Flipped in by Goetz, and that is going to be an icing call. They're going to bring it back the other way as the Bulldogs did not gain the red line. So face off back in their own defensive zone. Maverick Athletics would like to thank OFC for being the presenting sponsor of our 3 stars of the game and our post-game autograph session. After each Saturday game, 3 Mavericks will be signing autographs in the lobby. So come out to the game tomorrow night and get your autographs. Tomorrow night's players: Tony Malinowski, Connor Grega, and Stephen Bellini. Mavericks win another draw. Malinowski's shot gets blocked, however, and now Olsen will carry for the Bulldogs. Olsen with the shot that's wide. Bulldogs still with just the 3 shots on goal nearing the halfway point of the contest. As they spent a lot of time on the penalty kills as that one got blocked out in front. Grega played over to Malinowski in the corner. Grohl tries to get away from Goetz on the play, but then lets Kaiser to step in and clean things up. Livingstone from Minnesota State. Loose puck controlled by Pavel. We're going to look here at Mavericks faceoffs back in the first period, 13-6. They were dominant, and they've continued that statistic here in the second as well. Dominic James ahead for Howard. Livingstone breaks that one. Headmans to Grega, who's off the boards. Pavel and Kaiser after it. Played through some traffic and sent back in by Livingstone. Daschke for Isaac Howard as he's watched by Hillman. Howard, the first round draft choice, tries to bring it into the zone along the near boards. Poked away. Kranick for the Mavericks. Livingstone and Hirose played out. Hillman will at least clear for Minnesota State. Hirose picks up a loose puck. Carries it past one defender down low. Kranick with the shot, and Stay-Skull with a nice save. Credit there to Hirose for making that play back in his own zone and carrying. Howard played back. That one's off a defender. Here comes now Morton the other way from Minnesota State. Looks for a trailer. Morton behind the net. Played off the stick of Sandlin. Morton rink wide, still in the zone for Carroll down low. Sandlin one times one, but misfired. Sandlin had a little bit of net to work with here on the near side. Carroll with the shot. That saves there, and Wheeler unable to get to it in time. Played all the way down, and an icing call against the Bulldogs, and the Mavericks just continuing to play so well here tonight, Andy.
You know, we look at those shots, right? It's still 25-3 in shots. The Mavs are all over them, and it's interesting. I talked to Todd Connaught before the game, and he was. We'll go look at this scoring opportunity here.
Scoring opportunity. We're going to have the time because Scott Sandlin's taking a timeout. We'll take a break as well. Mavericks in control halfway through the contest, 4-0. For a 6 o'clock pregame, 6:07 face-off game 2 between these two clubs. Mavericks on the road for first time in their full series in the regular season. Of course, I've already had the exhibition game in Omaha and opened the season at Mariucci with the Gophers. But next weekend, travel up to the granite city of St. Cloud to take on the Huskies before returning home 28th and 29th for Bowling Green. JBO Real Estate Group is proudly serving Greater Mankato since 2002. JBO has the experts in Mankato to St. Peter, Lake Crystal, to Fairmont, and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling? The company to call is JBO Real Estate Group. Scott Sandlin looked like he had a very one-sided discussion with his team on the bench. And we'll see if the Bulldogs come out with a little more inspired play. 26-3 are shots on goal. I have never seen that kind of disparity in a game that's involved in UMD, at least when they've been on the short side of that. They've probably had a few games where they've put that many shots on, but wow, it has been a strong start. It was even for the first 5 minutes. Mavericks killed off a couple of Bulldog power plays. They got a power play goal themselves with Celia, and they have not stopped ever since.
As I was saying there before we went to that last break, talking to Todd Connaught, one of the things he said is both teams are similar and they're kind of looking for their new team identity. There's a lot of turnover on the teams. Things have changed. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to find your team identity and get to work when you're at home rather than when you're a younger team on the road like the Bulldogs are here tonight.
Bulldogs with 6 freshmen in the lineup. Of course, they're a team that has 9 NHL draft picks on the ice tonight. Played through some traffic, was looking near the weak side for player breaking in Battens, but the Mavericks back the other way. That was a diving play there on the shot by Celia. Still loose down low and now picked up and cleared by UMD. Malinowski for Sykos. Played ahead for Celia. And they're going to say that was not tipped, and so an icing call back the other way going against the Mavericks.
You know, we've got a chance to see Campbell Sykos a bit here, and he's one of the players after that first weekend that I know the Maverick coaches were pleasantly surprised with, you know, how quickly he jumped in the lineup and how well he played against the Gophers. So good to see him having some early success.
I haven't called his name a lot tonight, but Alex Tracy in the nets for the Mavericks has only faced 3 shots on goal in the first 30 minutes. And again, fans might have thought that Keenan Rancier would be back in the nets tonight after getting his first collegiate win last Saturday against the Gophers. But if you missed the discussion earlier in the game, pretty even contest as far as who's going to be the goalie between Tracy Rancier and even Andrew Miller. And Coach Hastings saying, you know, Alex had the better of play in practice this week. It was really close. He worked hard during the offseason, and he needs the opportunity as well. So he got the nod and got down there with the stick save. They're going to wave everybody off and keep the face-off in the circle as the Bulldogs looking to create a low-angled opportunity.
You know, and Tracy had some short, quick opportunities right away where there's a little bit of traffic and there's kind of a scrum almost to start the game. And I was happy he found some shots early. I thought he was going to settle in the game. And like we can see with 3 shots, he hasn't seen any action since. Right there, getting run into on the post has been about all he's seen.
We'll take a break here in Mankato. Mavericks on top 4-0. Spicer and Morton step in for a face-off that's controlled by the Mavericks. They again led that statistic 13-6 after the first. Sandlin into the zone, but ridden out along the boards by Dubinsky. Howard able to clear. Tipped here at center ice. Mavericks with Morton. Carroll and Bellini. And it's now played into the zone as the Mavericks are going to start a change. Dubinsky all the way along the boards. Kranick unable to gather it up, so Howard carries in, and now Spicer. Tracy with the save, and now we're going to get a penalty. I think Kranick might go on that play. It's going to be a holding call, and it'll be the Bulldogs with the opportunity at least to start to get some momentum back. Kranick is over, and he'll get the box with 11:45. Again, holding the preliminary call, and Andy, sounds like we're going to keep it here. And
fans, please turn your attention to section 119.
It's going to be time for our veteran of the game. So let's stay here and pick up the honoree from the public address announcer, our veteran of the game.
Isaac Kamek enlisted in the U.S. Army from 2013 to 18, serving as a 19-kilo Abrams armored crewman. Isaac was first stationed at Camp Casey, South Korea from 2014 to 15 with the 1st Battalion 72nd Armored Regiment, where he served as a loader and a driver. He was later assigned to the 1st Battalion 37th Armored Regiment out of Fort Bliss, Texas from 2015 to 18, where he was positioned as a gunner and ended his career there as tank commander. Today, Isaac is a senior right here at MSU and will be graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Geology in his pursuit to become a soil scientist. Isaac would like to extend his appreciation for all the love and support he's received over the years from his loving mom, Mary, his dad, Calvin, and his younger brother, Dylan, and all of his close friends. Thank you for your service, Isaac.
Our veteran of the game sponsored here in Mankato. We thank Isaac for his service and all those who protect our country. Kranik is gone for a couple minutes on a holding call, and so the Bulldogs desperately could use a power play tally here to start to climb back into this contest. Howard, Kaiser through some traffic trying to feed Olsen. Kaiser for Howard down low behind the net. Olsen has it. Kaiser to the far side. James. And the Mavericks with a stick by Grohl send it down the ice. And UMD pretty content just to play it around the perimeter, but they're really not creating a whole lot of scoring opportunities.
Well, we got to give some credit there to Celia and Grohl, too. They do a great job moving up top, cutting off angles. You know, they're not going to give you that easy pass through the box, those two.
Played back into the corner and then sent all the way down by Wheeler. 1 minute gone. Here's an opportunity. Mavericks Pavel, and that was a nice job by Gallatin to get a stick in there as they created the shorthanded chance. Gallatin the other way. Tracy makes that save. Puck loose on the far side. Now we're going to get a penalty, and it's going to be 5-on-3 as a cross check. It looks like it might be Wheeler who's going to go, and UMD will be on a 5-on-3 for 40 seconds.
You know, Tracy getting tested there. Maverick defensemen, I mean, they had to do what they had to do to clean house, to get guys out of the way. Nobody got a rebound. You don't want to take a penalty there, but, you know, you're holding off the goal, and the Mavs have killed this off before and built momentum, and they're going to need it right here.
Wheeler's gone at 13:05. So much like last weekend, that was part of a major. Mavericks killing off this weekend another 5-on-3 opportunity. We'll see if they can pull it off and take the momentum that they gained last weekend against the Gophers. James, dash key. Bulldogs reposition. Howard has a shot that's blocked by Livingstone. Howard again to the far side. Tracy, nice job to move over and hug that post. Howard, top of the circle, in the slot. Dashke. Kranik is ready to try to get back into the contest with still 6 seconds left in his penalty. Howard, that one is played down low and caroms off a Maverick. I think it actually even went in on net. Kranik is going to jump right back into the play. Quick shot there. Mavericks with Livingstone after the block is made, and the Mavericks will clear.
You know what I love there is you watch Livingstone, you watch Celia, the communication, they're replacing each other. Doesn't matter if a defenseman's on top, forward's on top. That 5-on-3 there, you couldn't have done it much better than they did.
So 5-on-4 yet for another little short of a minute as James has it. And that one is played off a stick up into the net for a stoppage of play that will remain in the Maverick zone. Should let you know, we forgot to do that in the first. Officials tonight, TJ Likens and Bruce Vida, along with Matt Tyree and Eric Steinke are linesmen, and right away you saw the call being made against Wheeler on the cross check.
On a night like tonight, that's an obvious one, right? And the Mavs kind of have to take it. He wants to make sure that shot doesn't get taken.
Pavel in along with Spicer. Spicer gets this draw for the Bulldogs in the zone on the power play. 45 seconds left with the man advantage, but a nice job by Pavel. He is just such a great specialty teams player. We saw his play back in the first period of play when he literally took off 20 seconds behind the net just with 3 players around him.
Not that he doesn't play the rest of the game, but he comes alive when we're shorthanded, and he's a force out there.
Off the base of the net, controlled now by the Bulldogs. Kaiser at the point. Spicer off the skate of Loney. Low height. Kaiser. Gallatin. That one just whistled wide of the net. Furry will catch up to it. He'll carry it into the zone. About 5 seconds earlier in the play, and Wheeler might have been able to free himself up for an opportunity, but the Mavericks successful on the kill, including 40 seconds of 5-on-3. Borchard has it down low, flips one up and path to the shoulder of Stayskal. Borchard still has it. Now Carroll. Carroll moves to the slot. Puts one down low off a blocker. Carroll gets the rebound in the corner. Borchard lets it go for Souter. Gallatin. Far side. Cillian in a race with Spicer. Carroll fakes one. Near side Psychos. Puts one down low looking for a tip, but actually probably got too much air on that attempt. Cilia didn't have anyone at the point to play it back to as the Mavericks were starting to change, and then it's going to be sent down the ice. Malinowski, long lead pass for Borchard. Flip down low, Souter trying to feed it back to Borchard, but it was broken up by the Bulldogs defensively. Now Souter will pick up a loose puck and just play it in as the Mavericks have to clear. 3:45 left to go in the second. 4-0 Maverick lead. It was 3-0 after one. Mavericks with 3 power play tallies tonight. Here's a chance down low for the Bulldogs, but a lot of traffic, and the Mavericks get back defensively as that play developed out of the corner. Bettens. Now Bettens trying to play it back. Broken up by the Mavericks. Near side Dashke. Morton will carry through the neutral ice area for Fitzgerald. Sandlin tees up a shot, and Stayskal saw that one coming all the way. He'll hold on for the faceoff, and we'll take a timeout with 3:10 left to go in the second. You are watching Maverick Hockey on Flow Hockey and KEYC Circle. Former Maverick defenseman Andy Hedlund with us this weekend for the broadcast. Tomorrow night, another defenseman, Darren Blue. Does that mean that defensemen have the most knowledge about hockey? We're feeding all these defensemen through the color analyst spot?
I thought that was obvious. I thought everybody knew that. It's like the quarterback position in football, right?
By the way, I need to tell you before I forget, congratulations to your Maple Grove Crimson last year. What a great high school season. I know it ended one game, well, it didn't end too soon. You got there. You just didn't get the last game like the local
goal
team
short,
here.
but no, it was a fun year.
Great year for you guys. Pavel down low with the look as the Mavericks are going to come with a power play opportunity. Bulldogs are going to go a man down again late in another period. They took one late in the first, and now it's going to be a holding call. That one's going to go against Will Francis.
You know, it felt like the Bulldogs might have got a little momentum from their power play. They got some opportunities. They moved the puck well, but the Mavericks quickly squashed it.
Penalty number 23, minor penalty holding.
You know, we look at this here. Mavericks are buzzing. They cycle. They move well, and you know, Francis has no choice but to kind of wrap them up. And tonight with these officials, that's going to be a penalty every time.
Mavericks get the draw. Livingstone along the boards. Mavericks just looking to establish things. Loney trying to step into the play at the point. Carosi holds a little bit at the top of the slot, then it's cleared by the Bulldogs. Carosi carries it all the way down into the corner. Now Borchert. Mavericks a little bit out of the sync in that play as Carosi carried it all the way down and had to put Livingstone at the point in the play. Tracy sweeps one along the boards. Souter now back for Carroll. Jocks was in there on a forecheck here as the Bulldogs again trying to kill off another penalty with still 1:10 left to go. 2 minutes left in the second. Mavericks in the midst of a change. No one at the point, and the puck is cleared. Furry brings it from behind the net, wraps around out in front, and then Sandlin couldn't gather up to play as Stayskal saw that develop from behind the net. Carroll for Sandlin. Cilia will carry it into the zone, but it's poked away from him and sent down. Tracy will leave it off for Carroll, and with 25 seconds, the Mavericks will think about one last rush up the ice, although they're completing a change of personnel as well. Carroll for Hillman. Andy Carroll gains the red line, drives it in, and we're down to a minute remaining in the second. Pavel up on top for Wheeler. Carosi. Wheeler as the Bulldogs back at full strength. Hiroshi down low, loose puck, score! That's an even strength goal as Francis had just gotten out of the box a few seconds before. Stayskal just could not dive back into the net in time to pull it out of the blue or the line, and then Pavel got in there. Gregor was down low as well. It will be interesting who here gets credit for the goal.
Yeah, and that's one of those as a goalie, you're just looking at slow motion, right? You feel like you can grab it as big as Stayskal is. I'm a bit surprised they're not looking a little closer at it from up top. I thought it maybe hit a skate. Whenever it hits a skate, I wonder if they're going to look at it for a kick, although I didn't think there was any kicking motion at all, but we'll see who gets credit.
Mavericks with another goal late in the period to make it 5-0. As Gregor dumps it into the zone. Hiroshi with credit for the goal. Did not see that one coming as Stayskal holds on for the faceoff. Pavel and Wheeler getting the assists on the play for Hiroshi, his first of the year. And for Wheeler, that's his first collegiate point on the assist. Pavel actually had a couple of assists last weekend against the Gophers, along with 6 shots on goal. Sykos all the way to the far side for Kaiser. Johnson trying to dig it away from Sandlin along the boards. Celia steps back into the play. Just 10 seconds remaining in the period. Sykos ahead for Sandlin. Dumped into the zone. Kaiser and Celia after it. They're just going to let the time roll off the clock here, and that ends the second period of play where the Mavericks built upon what was a 3-0 lead after one. Borchard his first, Hiroshi his first. It's 5-0 Mavericks. We're in the second intermission in Mankato.
Andy Hedlund here with Cade Borchard. Hey, Cade, great period. Just want to ask you, it seems like you and Jake Livingstone have a ton of chemistry on that power play. You guys are connecting, and even when you're not scoring, it looks like you guys are looking for you. Is that something you guys work on often?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you play a player like that, I mean, he's so elite up there. And, yeah, he made a nice play to me there, and I was lucky to put it back to the net. But, yeah, I mean, we've been practicing, obviously, in practice. But, I mean, like I said, he's an elite player, and he made an elite play to me.
Yeah. It was amazing of you to grab that, too. That puck coming across was coming pretty crisp, so kudos to you. Having a night like tonight with so many special teams, is it tough for you to find a rhythm, or are you thriving off the power play?
Yeah, I think the power plays definitely gave us some momentum. I think I don't know how many penalties they had. They had the 5-minute there, and anytime you can get a power play, you need to get some momentum even if you're not scoring. And we were lucky to get one there, or a few in this game so far, so we've been riding on the momentum of that. You know, talking to some of your coaches and saying that you guys are kind of looking for that team identity with the turnover from other years and you being an older player, what does that mean for you? What do you think your role is in finding that team identity? Yeah, I think that's one thing we really take pride in is just our identity, and that's just getting pucks behind them and working their D. And I think when we're playing in groups of 5, that's our identity, and that's what works for us. So, yeah, we got to keep going here.
Good deal. Hey, Kate, thanks for the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're back in downtown Mankato. It's the second intermission, and the Mavericks in control in this one. 5-0 tonight on top of UMD after 2, and we have a few moments right now to talk to another former Maverick player. Used to seeing him on the ice. In fact, so much to the extent this guy sitting next to me has played more games with the Maverick sweater than any other Minnesota State player. Reggie Lutz, 175 games, 11th all-time in scoring with 116 points. It's good to have you in the building, but I'm going to be honest with you, I miss seeing you down on the ice.
Yeah, it's a little different watching from the stand, but it's a fun environment. And like you just had Jack on, so we're enjoying it and kind of seeing a different side of it, and we've been having fun here tonight.
So many nights you on that power play sitting weak side, ready to one time that thing in there. That was a patented play for you guys. You had a lot of success, and you had to like what you see tonight from the power play as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, when I was on it, I had a lot of luck with playing with Jake Tremko, and somebody kind of hit me with the cross seam, and you saw that tonight with Libby on the 5-on-3 going to Borch, and I actually missed the last one with the Keto because I was on my way over here, but I mean, their power play has been clicking. They've been playing great 5-on-5, so they've been all the special teams and 5-on-5 and playing great. Obviously, when you're up 5-0 against a team like Duluth, you can't really complain about much.
We just showed the championship banner from last year, the regular season. You were part of so many championship performances, regular season. Of course, the last year, the playoff championship here into the game that never ended. We had to have some more from you, and then the run all the way to the national championship game. Have you had a chance ever to really step back and assess what you were able to accomplish, you and your teammates, over such a great career, or is it just hasn't been enough distance yet?
A little bit. Just when your career comes to an end here, you kind of reminisce on all the good times you had here, and just coming back and seeing the banners, seeing the new ones. You really start to remember all the great times and all the teams you've been on and all the special guys you got to play with. And it's been just an unbelievable experience in my 5 years here. And like you said, it probably hasn't really hit me fully about the impact that some of these teams have had even on the community and just bringing people together. It's been some of the best years of my life playing here, and I'm excited to be back here.
Any particular game stand out? I mean, the Bemidji State is one just because of how it ended and transpired is unique, and the Bowling Green game, and you played in some big ones, both conference and non-conference games.
Yeah, I don't think there's a game that I'll ever witness that's as crazy as a Bemidji game and just the circumstances. But like you said, the game that comes to my mind first is definitely the Bowling Green my sophomore year, the WCHA championship game. That game is, I know it's probably a cliche answer, but it's really one of the most special games I've been part of, just to come back against a team like Bowling Green and be able to do it in front of a sold-out crowd here in front of the city of Mankato. That was definitely one. And then, like you said, the Bemidji game last year, I mean, when that happens, we're in the locker room, we don't know what the deal is, and be able to come back out and just the circumstances of that game with it being sold out and then half the crowd leaving because they don't know. And then Jack, to finish the deal is really special for all of us, and it was really special for Jack to get that game-winning goal.
How long did it take you to warm up after that outdoor game last year? That was a cold one.
It was a cold one, but I was actually injured that game, so I didn't get to play. I just got to go out there for warm-ups. Even the warm-ups gave me chills, so it was pretty easy to stay warm out there when you have all that adrenaline going. But yeah, it was a cold one, especially with all the snow, and it was quite the environment. That was a really special game.
Last question, but what Maverick fans are going to know, what's keeping you busy nowadays? You back in the Elk River area? Or?
Yeah, I'm back home. I am the newest hire of the Elk River high school hockey team as an assistant coach.
Very good.
And then recently I've been trying to get into medical sales, so it's been a pretty fresh start for me as far as that goes as a profession. So just been enjoying my time back in Elk River and trying to stay busy with anything I can do.
Well, as a Maverick hockey fan, thank you so much for everything you gave this team, and the program was a great ride, and you contributed a lot, Reggie. Thanks much.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
We're back here after the break. Mavericks on top, 5-0. Along with Andy Hedlund, Don Westfall back in Mankato on a Friday night. Mavericks on top, 5-0. Andy got a few goals for you to talk about.
Yeah, and that's the one I was talking to Kate about the break there, with Livingstone snapping that across. And Borchardt and him have been finding each other. And again, that one there, we couldn't quite figure out how it went in, but getting pucks in net and good traffic. That's what the Mavericks said they needed to do, and they've done it so far in spades tonight.
Alex Tracy in the nets again, as you can see, making his first start, and probably the most striking statistic of the night, even more so than the 5-0 game, which again UMD is very rarely trails by 5 goals after 2 periods of play, but only 7 shots on goal in 40 minutes of hockey. That's just striking. I'm sure obviously Coach Sandlin and the rest of the group in the locker room not at all pleased with the performance tonight. We'll see if they can generate something, even if it's not so much getting back into tonight's contest. You're just looking to create some momentum into tomorrow night's return matchup as you look for a split.
Yeah, it really has been remarkable the way this game has gone, and the slant and the ice. But that's exactly right for the Bulldogs. Coach Sandlin wants these guys starting to get things moving the right way. They're not going to win a game in one shift or one shot, but they have to start doing things the right way. And get some more pucks in the net is definitely one of those items.
Program with a lot of pride early in the season, again coming in after the sweep a couple of weeks ago. over Arizona State, and they come into the contest ranked 4th in the country. Mavericks ranked 5th. A lot of season yet to go, and maybe 40 minutes of an opportunity to learn and get better as the season moves on here tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about in the locker room and practice next week as well. But again, 4 periods of hockey left to go on the weekend, and we know we'll see a better effort from the Bulldogs. Biondi clears rink wide. Sykos is there to turn it around, but left it off for Olsen. Olsen drags it back, puts one up high. Follow up, picked up by James. Plays it out in front. Biondi unable to get a handle on it. Couple of good looks early on here in the third for UMD. Dashke poked away. Nice job there with the stick by Fitzgerald to take it away from Dubinsky. James back into the corner for Howard. Biondi takes it away from Morton. Morton comes back, however. It stays with the play ahead for Borchard, who clears. Remind you to stick with us after the contest. Andy will have a chance to talk to Maverick head coach Mike Hastings, and we'll have some highlights of tonight's contest, setting up the return matchup between the two teams tomorrow night at 6 o'clock from Mankato. Morton comes back, controls for Minnesota State, Malinowski. Sykos off the boards will clear, picked up and sent back in by Jesse Jocks. Malinowski. Everybody pretty deliberate at this time as the Mavericks will pick things up, carried out by Celia. Celia on goal line, back for Grohl. Gets past him, and the Mavericks are going to have to retreat back in their own zone. Hiroshi.
You know, and the Mavericks are fine with this type of play, right? They'll let Duluth box it up and trap it up in the middle, and they'll take their time and be deliberate.
Celia gets tripped on the play, and that'll be a power play coming up again for the Mavericks on a fairly obvious call.
You know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's just a good play. But nowadays, doesn't matter if you mean to put that stick there, you twist him up like that as he's coming through neutral zone.
Number 21, Minnesota Duluth, 2-minute liner for hooking.
It's an easy call.
Hooking's the call. That'll put the Mavericks on the power play.
You know, and that's that trap system where you're boxing up the middle, but you're a little bit more flat-footed, so it's tougher to angle, and you get caught in a situation where you're reaching for a puck, and you might trip a guy just like you did there.
Milmock is off on the trip. Mavericks technically on their 7th power play of the night. Souter out in front. Score! Souter got it down to Borchard, who then fed it right through the top of the crease. Morton one-times it for the 6th goal of the night for Minnesota State.
You know, we'll have to see if Morton gets all of this, or it's just the fact that he got it off so quick. And that's such a surprise, and that's a long way for Stejsko to go. And as we see here, Duluth is going with the change.
And really, I can't fault Stejsko for probably at least half, if not 4 or 5 of the goals tonight. There were just opportunities he had no chance on. It's just been breakdown in the defensive zone and sustained pressure by Minnesota State.
There might be a couple of those back that he would want back, but yeah, I wouldn't fault him for what's going on here. There's been so many cross-seam passes by the Mavs. That's impossible for most goalies to cover.
So Matthew Thiessen comes in the nets, who was the winning goaltender of record last game out for Arizona State. A couple weekends ago, Morton gets his first goal of the season. Souter and Borchard, as we mentioned, getting the assist on the play. And the Mavericks with their 4th power play tally tonight, and what the records tell me is their 7th opportunity.
Weren't you talking about power play stats at this time of year being a bit misleading on percentages?
Misleading, yeah.
What is it going to look like coming out of tonight?
I'm a journalism major, so don't force me to do the math. But, you know, UMD came in. They were 50% on the season so far. They are 0 for 4 on the stat sheet, and the Mavericks, boy, yeah, statistically they were 0 for 6 coming into the night, but had some time to work on it. We talked about the Mavericks, what they were trying to accomplish on the power play. Mavericks good on all 4 of their kills tonight. Pavel. Behind the net, Carroll for the Mavericks. That one's cleared off the boards. Hillman. Kranick. Pavel now with it. Hillman trying to force it behind the net. Kranick. Hillman puts one down low. That's off a body behind the net. Mavericks still in his zone. Hillman turns it around trying to feed Pavel. Played out, and Carroll will turn things around for Minnesota State. Dubinsky near side. Daschke with a long lead pass for Kyle Bettens. Olsen for James. That shot wide. Far side. Bodnerchuk sends it down low for Bettens. Gallatin played wide of the net. Malinowski will pick things up. Played out by Celia, and he's in a race for the puck along with James. Celia trying to control. Bodnerchuk steps in. Olsen will pick things up for UMD. Played out of the zone for Gallatin. Near side, Biondi. Off the skate of Bellini, and the Mavericks will race after it. Howard and Grohl. Goetz still in the zone. Sandlin trying to feed Morton out in front, and a nice kick save there by Thiessen. Morton looking for his second. Played all the way out, but Livingstone turns it around. Sykos tips it away, and Howard will play it for UMD inside 15 minutes remaining in the contest. Morton played out of the zone, neutral ice in front of the UMD bench. Flipped ahead by Biondi. Morosi comes back. Furry turns away from the check of Howard. The Mavericks again pretty content just to control the puck. Take some time off the clock. Morosi. Sauter now with it. Played out the line and in. Played back for Borcher. Tries to drag one back to force an opportunity, but Kaiser broke that up. Luke Lohheit. Livingstone in the corner with Sauter. Long lead pass there for Borcher. A little bit too long. That'll be icing call against the Mavericks. JBL Real Estate Group has proudly served Greater Mankato since 2002. JBL has experts from Mankato to St. Peter, Lake Crystal, to Fairmont, and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling, the company to call is the JBL Real Estate Group. Face-offs after 2 periods of play tonight. Mavericks still in control of that statistically, 23-13 after 2. Furry steps in for the Mavericks. Poked away by Daschke, and now Bettens, who gets stood up by Hillman. Pavel with some speed through center ice. Shot wide of the net. Wheeler at the point. Kranick puts one into the corner. Dubinsky. Play to the far side for Bettens. Hillman steps in to break up the play. Hillman at the line trying to force it into the corner, but cleared. Tipped in off the stick of Spicer. Tracy there to make that play. Carroll to the far side for Kranick. Loose puck along the boards, and Hillman comes back. Carroll for Pavel, who can't take that pass cleanly. And it's played out of the zone. Gallatin comes back. 12.5 left to go in the third. Mavericks with 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 more here in the third. Francis with the shot. That's tipped but sent wide. Biondi with Psychos on him, and that'll be a penalty on Psychos, and that might be one that'll end the evening as well, as the officials might have to look at it. They're just going to say it's a cross check. Power play for the Bulldogs coming back after this break. They trail 6-0. Take a look here at the penalty that they just looked at on replay and said 2 is enough. So it's a cross check against Psychos at 7:46, and the Mavericks will go on the penalty kill for the 5th time tonight. Quick hello to friends up watching us north of Chisholm tonight. Side Lake, where apparently they had a little snow today. Jim and Tammy Danner.
Heard that a few inches up that way.
On the ice stands, we have a 2-minute minor penalty for cross-checking.
We had flurries down here, but nothing sticking to the ground or anything like
We had
that.
a little stick to the ground in the morning in the Twin Cities.
Don't need that. A little early for that.
Kids got a couple of small snowballs in, so.
So again, Psychos in the box on the cross-check call. 5th power play of the night for UMD. They were 3 of 6 coming into tonight's game. Mavericks get it back, but unable to clear. Played off the body down low. Out to the line, and then Celia does a nice job controlling and sending it down to the Mavericks, and get 4 new penalty killers out with 30 seconds gone in the minor. Behind the net, James. Back up on top for Biondi, who tracks it down to hold the zone. Dominic James. Wide Kaiser, far side. Isaac Coworth the shot. Save made there and cleared by Carroll.
Good cleanup by the Mavs, jumping on loose pucks. You know, again, you see them pressuring every time that the puck's on the wall, or, you know, Bulldogs are bobbling it all. The Mavs are on them.
Carter Loney now. Carried down by Spicer, left off for Gallatin. Dashkey. Low height. Through a couple players. Spicer, but that one, I think that was Hiroshi with the defensive play there on the stick to take it up and out of play as well.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it caught Hiroshi, if it caught the knob of Tracy as he got to the net, but Spicer had a lot of time. That cross-box play that the Mavs have been looking for. And, you know, great shot, but we'll get another look here. Yeah, and from what I can see, I think that's Tracy coming up with the save. So,
Maverick Athletics would like to thank City Auto Glass for their continuous support of Maverick Athletics. We've seen some pretty good cracks tonight. If you got a crack in your windshield, remember to call 345-CITY. Gallatin is back with now 25 seconds left to go in the power play. Low height. Celia gets a stick to block that play through the slot area. Carroll. Gallatin has it back for UMD. Played back to the point. Spicer sends it far side for Gallatin. Played wide of the net. Tracy covers up as Psychos is out, and the Mavericks a perfect 5 for 5 on the penalty kill tonight.
yeah, you have to give them kudos to how they've played that penalty kill all night. I mean, they've been all over them. They've been jumping on loose pucks. They're getting the clears. You know, it's when you don't get those clears that you give the other team an opportunity to reset, that come back and bite you. For the most part, the Mavs have been near perfect on their clears.
And a shout out to a big Maverick hockey fan in town here, but doesn't get to every game, but it watches us, pays the subscription to watch us on Flow Hockey. Lee Pomeroy. Like to see him in the building every now and then. We'd like to see him more often, but when he's not here, he's checking out the Mavericks on Flow Hockey. Again, we thank them, along with KEYC Circle, for coverage of tonight's game. all season long, and as well the fans tonight up in Duluth watching this one. My 9 Sports. Played to the side of the net, out in front, and a nice save there on a point-blank shot taken by Latterroot. Tracy has that one. Sykos chips it in, and they're going to whistle that one down for an icing call. These guys are more than complimentary. I can get all my spots in here. I also need to let you know ISG, a longtime standing teammate of Maverick Hockey at MSU, is proud to design spaces that elevate the game for players and fans. That's ISG. And ISG's own Darren Blue back with us tomorrow night for the second of the 2-game series. 6 o'clock the pregame show, 6:07 the face-off. Few people in town we know for the Mankato Marathon this weekend. It will be a cold march around the city tomorrow on that 26-mile run. Some people call it a fun run. I've never associated the words fun and run together in the same sentence, Andy Hedlund. Not for me, but it's marathon weekend, and I'll get a few people in town tonight for that, and then tomorrow as well. They stick around, and so hopefully we'll have another big crowd between these two clubs. Take a break here with 9:19 left to go in Mankato. It's the Mavericks in control, 6-0. It is a little cool in the building tonight, is it not, Andy Hedlund?
My hands are a bit chilled. I won't lie.
Cool. You know what? I love the not only the headset. You think she's got us on?
I could use that hat.
The hat's even better. Yeah. Chilly weekend here in Mankato, but the Mavericks have been hot tonight. Hot on the specialty units with 4 power play goals, a perfect 5 for 5 on the penalty kill, and so far the guy in the nets has been up to the task as well, and in the end, we're 9-12 away from the Mavericks picking up non-conference win.
You know, and Tracy hasn't been tested a whole ton, but he has had some better opportunities against him here in the third, where he's had to make a quick save, a quick recovery, deal with some traffic, and it's good to see. I mean, I'm okay with him not being tested too much tonight, but it's nice to see a couple opportunities against him and him come up big.
See the shots on goal on the board, 33-12. Played out to center ice. Pavel will send it into the zone. Gallatin is back for UMD. Millman tries to break up the play, but it's out to center ice, dumped in. Bellini quickly turns things around for Minnesota State and sends it in. Gallatin with it one more time in his own zone to the far side. Howard. Kyle Bettens knocked off the play by Pavel, and Sauter will carry back in for Minnesota State. Sauter takes the hit. Mavericks with Borchert. Furry. Back for Wheeler. Play to an open wing to hold the zone, and Borchert's there along with Spicer. Sauter for Furry one more time as he's watched by Dubinsky. Livingstone for Wheeler. Played down low for Borchert, who'll carry up to the point. That one's off a skate. And Borchert breaks up an opportunity that could have freed up Spicer on the play. Wheeler. Matthew Thiessen in the nets. Got the call here early in the third after Mavericks had scored their 6th goal, replacing Zach Staysdahl in the nets tonight. Roll sends one out. Gregor's after along with Bodnar-Chuk. Dubinsky gets there for UMD. Jesse Jocks dumps it in. Sykos gets there first for the Mavericks. Back for Grohl. Latterroot behind the net trying to feed out to the circle, but it's broken up by Grega. Jocks has it down low. It played loose, and Grega out of midair just pulls it down to prevent it from getting in on net. Kaiser turns it around quickly for UMD. Left off for James. James plays one to the top of the crease, but Carroll is there to clean up. Overskates the puck out in front and then just hops right over the top of the stick for James, who had a good look. Played out of the zone, so Grega gets there first and dumps it in, and the Mavericks will send in a couple of forecheckers, or they're going to say that was
just a foot or two
offside.
short.
Okay.
Yep, for an icing. Unfortunate, but
4,612 in the building tonight, a couple hundred short of a complete sellout.
You know, I don't think any of those 4,000 thought we're going to see what we saw here tonight on a 6-0 game.
Not at all. You did not expect it. I know that. You've seen way too much hockey at this level and know the type of program that the Bulldogs have. That shot hits some traffic out in front. Psychos tips it away. Then Grega. Daschke plays it back in. Biondi and Carroll after it.
These last couple of shifts, though, James has brought a little bit of tempo. He's getting his feet moving. He's getting a little bit of life going. And you see the Bulldogs are getting a little sustained pressure. Not a lot of shots yet, but they are starting to pick that up. It looks like they're trying to play a little more physical. I don't know if they've talked about that. It's setting a little bit of a tone, but they're not going away quietly right now.
Connor Grega with a 6-0 lead still jumps out there and blocks that blast from the point. That's the type of hockey Coach Hastings loves to see, and a fantastic save as James on a rebound had a really good look, and Tracy gets the blocker down. His best save of the night.
Slow motion, couldn't see where it was from here, but he could see the scramble, and he stood fast, and good for Tracy coming up big.
Grega with the block there. You know that his team knows what's going on the scoreboard, and it's plays like that that brought this program to the type of play we've seen for the last decade under Coach Hastings. Dumped in by Bellini.
You know it shows up on video next week if you don't block that shot.
Well, that's
though,
true
right?
too, but there's still something to be played for out here between the two clubs. Hillman tips it back in. The Mavericks clear the zone. Gallatin off a skate. Kranick with it. He'll just bring it back in control as we're down to 5 minutes even left to go in tonight's contest. Right ahead where Borcher tips it in the zone. Reminder to stick with us for the post-game show. Andy will have a chance to talk to Coach Mike Hastings, get his thoughts on the contest, and set things up for tomorrow night's return matchup. Hiroshi. Long lead pass for Furry, and he just elects to bring it back in and hold on to puck possession. Poked away a little bit there by Luke Johnson, but Hiroshi picks things up. Hiroshi with the goal tonight. 6 different goal scorers for the Mavericks. Lead pass ahead for Jesse Jocks, trying to work past Livingstone. Lost the puck as he brought it to the top of the crease, and it gets past Kaiser and goes all the way back down where Beeson has to make a play for UMD. Celia tries to bring it in and hold the zone, and does. Sandlin with the shot that caught a stick and goes up just under the scoreboard. And we'll take our last break of the contest tonight. 3:50 left to go in Mankato. You're watching Maverick Hockey on Flow Hockey and KEYC Circle. Off the face-off, Mavericks get a quick look, but it's cleared by UMD. Celia. Carroll. Now Grohl on the near side. They back out to center ice. Cole Spicer overskates the puck. Played back to the point. Dubinsky with the shot that's blocked by Celia off a skate. Carroll ahead for Kranick, but Dubinsky turns things around for UMD. Malinowski, nice job to step into the play, bring it into the zone. Drop pass here for Pavel. Score! Oh, no, they wave it off. They wave it off. It hit the inside of the post.
Oh, we're playing the song either way.
Yeah, they.
That was a laser beam. And great job by Malinowski stepping up in the middle
We'll see right here on the replay. That
That's
one,
a goal.
that one looked in to me, yeah.
Absolutely it is.
The official on the ice waved it off. They're still playing the song, and yeah, that looked like it carried off the post and got deep in under the crossbar.
Yep. That's when you know you shoot the puck hard, right? When a referee's standing right there and he doesn't think it goes in because it came out so quick. So,
well, we're gonna.
We had no goal on the play. Goal was off the crossbar.
That's good. Mike, I mean, we understand that the game, as far as the winner, has pretty much been decided at this point, but they're going to. Oh, you guys, you got to be kidding. You're not even going to review it?
Yeah, that's tough luck.
That. I mean, they're going to show the fans who are just going to be beside themselves on the replay as they see it on the big screen scoreboard, but that goes deep into the goal. Wow.
What can you say?
Yeah. Played in, and Tracy covers up on the play, and that's, again, and now that's totally uncalled for. That's unbelievable, and I'm not going to give that any credence whatsoever.
Yeah. This might add insult to injury
well,
here if we keep.
They're going to play the goal again
screen,
here in down for the fans in the building, and that one. It was a great shot by Pavel.
Well, and you know,
it's a matter of statistics, but stuff like that matters at this level.
Yeah, Malinowski makes a great play, steps up in the middle, you know, makes a really good headsy play. Feeds it off to the side to Pavel, and how well he's playing and how hard he goes. I mean, that's his shot. That's his play.
You know, especially in this day and age when you have the technology, it's a quick replay. It's not that difficult to make that kind of a decision. You've looked at a few other things yet here tonight, and if the on-ice official says it's no goal, but we're going to go look at a replay, I totally understand the call, but we don't need to belabor it anymore. It's still a 6-0 game officially here in town, and we're down to 2:22 left to go in the contest. Gallatin picked up by Hillman. Hillman just will send one down the ice. They're going to wave off icing on the play.
I do find it interesting that we'll review those major hits at their discretion, but we won't review the goal. And I don't know if that's a CCHA bylaw or how that works regulation-wise, but it wouldn't have taken many looks.
No,
it didn't take multiple camera angles. It was one camera angle, and it was definitive.
Another thing gets thrown out, and I'm going to tell you, as bad as I feel about Pavel not getting the goal, I have no time whatsoever for fans in our building here in Mankato to be throwing stuff on the ice. And if the attendants in the building would see that, I would have no problem. They would take care of that. No excuse for that kind of behavior whatsoever. Malinowski. Kaiser lost an edge as he goes into the corner. Furry cleared all the way down, and Bellini will come back for the Mavericks. Left off for Malinowski. Behind the net, and Grega will make a play for Minnesota State. Taps it ahead. Kaiser and Fitzgerald after it in the corner. Down to 120 in the contest. Furry along the boards as it pulled away as Fitzgerald and Kaiser get tied up behind the play. And there's something else that's thrown on the ice, and it just really disappointing to see that from fans here in Mankato. And I know 99% of the people in the building feel the same way. Kranick dumps it in. Into the corner along the boards. Kranick again there for the Mavericks. Pavel tipped away from him. Down to 40 seconds, and the Mavericks control things. Pavel trying to get it down low. Has control now, sends it to the far side for Bellini, who sends it in. Played past Jones and tipped away. 25 seconds left in the contest. Howard has it. Played off for James. Tip back for Olsen, puts a shot that kind of knuckles in on the play, so not the easiest save of the night for Tracy. But he's down to 10 seconds left before his first victory. Mavericks with 3 back in the first just continue to put the pedal down in the contest, and that will do it. And on a shutout effort, his first ever collegiate game for Alex Tracy, the Mavericks win this one tonight by a score of 6-0. We will take a break. When we come back, Andy Hedlund will have a chance to talk to Maverick head coach Mike Hastings.
How many questions?
3.
3?
Well, 3 or 4. It'll be jovial.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, he's not going to say much about that goal they did in a 6-0 game. He's not going to.
I'm just going to give him the opportunity to ask, because if I'm at home, I want to know.
Yeah.
And he'll probably stop me cold because you know how he goes a long answer. So, but I'm okay with that.
So then, yeah, that's when he's done. You can thank him, and then I'll jump in right away, and I'll shift the chair over. And
Recognizing the 3 top players. Players are chosen by media in attendance. Tonight's number 3 star of the game.
What was that thing from PA on that change of goal? That was Morton's goal. I don't even know what that was about.
That's why I looked at it after you said that. That doesn't make any sense.
Our number 2 star of the game tonight with 1 goal and 2 assists for the Mavericks, number 28, Cade Borcher. And the number 1 star of the game with 16 saves for his first career win and first career shutout as a Maverick, number 33, Alex Tracy. The Mavericks will take the ice again tomorrow night at 6:07 here at Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center as they take on Minnesota Duluth once again. We hope to see you here. Thank you, good night, and go Mavericks!
Coach, you hear me okay?
I got you. You got me?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it sounds like we're back, so we'll send it over to Andy Hedlund, who is with Maverick head coach Mike Hastings.
Coach, great win tonight. First, I want to get this out of the way and ask about it. I know you probably can't talk a whole lot about it, but the goal that didn't get called there, do you get an opportunity? Did they give you much opportunity to ask any questions, or was it cut and dry? They were going to go with their answer and move on?
That was them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't get an opportunity to challenge for review at this level.
You know what? We had problems. I want to back just the crew on a couple of things. One, our replay was down. Okay, sure. Over the back half of that game, they told us that, and so you can't just all of a sudden, unless we let them know that it's back up and running, which I'm not sure if we did or not.
Got it.
So I don't want to completely blame them. It's just it's one where you think 4 sets of eyes should see that, but
yep.
Hey, things happen.
Yep. And luckily in a game like this, I mean, you guys had a commanding lead. So a couple things that I noticed. I mean, the chemistry I saw between Livingstone and Borchardt on the power play, even when they weren't scoring, they looked phenomenal together, just looking for each other. Borchardt was boxing out in front. Livingstone was always looking for him. But what I think goes unnoticed sometimes is Celia and Grohl and the PK. Those two guys, their chemistry, and I wanted you to comment on that and talk about the way those two can play together.
Well, first of all, it's great that you're recognizing Celia and Grohl because they've been probably our 2 most consistent forwards, whether that's offensively, which they've been very effective. But as you can see right now, one reason our penalty kill was successful is because of those guys. But they're playing both sides of the puck, 200 feet. David has taken a step going all the way back to the Frozen Four last year, and playing the way that he did. I just think he's come in with a lot of confidence, and it's good to see because we need him to be that way.
Yeah, the way you guys were all over them on the PK tonight was just exceptional. How quickly do you get the guys, and how do you get them to quickly refocus for tomorrow night? Because you and I both know the Bulldogs, Coach Sandlin isn't going to be happy with this. His players aren't going to be happy with that performance, and they're going to be a different team tomorrow. How do you get your guys quickly to get focused again?
Well, you just rely upon that leadership group that's done a good job up until this point. And you know what? Enjoy tonight. These games are hard to win, and so I think you've got to feel good about it until you peel your head off the pillow tomorrow and you open your eyes and you reset and get right back down to business. I think you're right on point. They're going to be very good tomorrow, and we're going to have to be better than we were tonight.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Congrats tonight, and good luck refocusing and going and getting them tomorrow.
Hey, Hetty, just one thing. I appreciate you biting the bullet. I know you weren't feeling good this whole week. It's great to have an alumni like yourself making the call upstairs. So thanks for grinding one out.
Something about being in this building just makes you feel a little bit better, and 6-0 will make anybody feel good. So thanks, Coach.
All right, buddy. Take care.
That's Maverick head coach Mike Hastings, and I have to. We talked about it during the game when it happened. No replay, and obviously, if the officials are told that there's no replay in the contest, we were unaware of that. I think it's important for us to acknowledge the officials didn't have the opportunity. So the guy on the ice made the call. He stood by the call. They couldn't go to replay because they were told it wasn't available. Yeah. That's a done deal in my mind.
And give it to Coach. He gives us the honest answer, and that's what happened. And it makes sense because from what we saw, you knew it was cut and dry. You hope, like he said, that four eyes or four different people would see it, but it happens quick, and Pavel rips that puck. We saw it at the end of last year a couple times. So you can't fault anybody in that now that we know that situation.
Too bad some of the fans who behaved so poorly didn't understand that as well, but we'll move on. And the Mavericks, again, 6-0 winner, and they open up the scoring here in the first. Cecilia got that nice goal from on the feed from Borchert. It was 1-0. That was a power play tally. We thought Celia had 2 goals tonight, but apparently it was Grohl out in front with the tip. That was his second of the season. That made it 2-0, and then with 5 seconds left to go during a major power play advantage, it's the Mavericks here. Livingstone with all kinds of room to work, and he made it 3-0. That was our score after 1. Mavericks took that lead into the second period of play, and it's again Livingstone with the feed through the slot area to Borchert, and he converts on his first goal of the season at 3:14. Mavericks would get a goal here from Hiroshi as it just trickles over the goal line, and that ended the scoring in the second period. It was 5-0 after 2, and then the Mavericks with one more here in the third is on the weak side. There's Morton, fires one in. That's a power play goal, and Andy, that's a big stat for me tonight, especially at this level when 5-on-5 it's so even. The Mavericks with 4 power play goals, and they shut down UMD's power play opportunity in 5 opportunities. Special teams were a big aspect of tonight's game.
Special teams are huge, and the other part of the game that was rock solid was right here. We got Alex Tracy in his first game coming off of Clark Cup MVP. A big season from last year. He faced a lot of shots, played a lot of games. Exciting to see him in the net tonight. And exciting for the Maverick future with the goalie core of these gentlemen they have right now.
And I got a feeling that in the Tracy household, there is already room for the first collegiate win and a first shutout. That puck will have an honored position for a long, long time in the Tracy household. And again, on effort tonight from him, 16 saves in the net. He keeps the Bulldogs out of the net, and it's the Mavericks with a 6-0 win. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Again, 6 o'clock, the pregame show, 6:07, the face-off from downtown Mankato. And we'll see if former coach Darren Blue has the same kind of luck that Andy Hedlund had here tonight.
He's got a lot to live up to here with the special teams, right?
Standard has been set high. So, Andy, thanks very much for coming down. We'll see you in a couple weeks. And Maverick fans, we'll see you again tomorrow night here on Full Hockey TV and KEYC Circle. One last time for Mankato, it's Minnesota State on top of UMD by a score of 6-0.